my beautiful darling wife, logistics player. Oh, hey, my beautiful husband, Dust. Baby, I know I haven't always been the best husband to you. I know I've lied, cheated, disappointed you, neglected you. Hell, I've been just about the worst husband anyone could have. Oh, it's okay, baby, it's okay. No, baby, it's not okay. And I haven't been good to you, but this year I'm going to make up for it. This year I'm going to give you something to make up for all the pain and suffering. Oh, baby, it's so great. I knew all you'd make it worth my time. Yeah, and this year it's a turd freaking sandwich.
Hey everybody, check it out. What's up? It's Heracles Porsche's professional intro. Yay!
Damn, dude, even when I'm pissing on this game, I'm making it look amazing. Do you see that? Look at that 8-man orbital. Who doesn't love an 8-man orbital? Anyway, let me do another metaphor quickly before I revert to the realm of being vaguely mature, only vaguely. Let's say there's a special day and we get everybody together for a special high school reunion, and everything's going swimmingly, and then somebody, doesn't matter who, somebody looks very closely at the hors d'oeuvres, which were advertised as to die for, and the thing that was going to make it worth coming back to this very special high school reunion. Oh, look, it's a bunch of little mini turd freaking sandwiches! So yeah, I hope people who saw my video I made yesterday don't feel baited. But yeah, there were logis who came back for this event and were probably like me, a little disappointed. People I haven't seen in months came back for this event. Believe it or not, against all odds, against the absolute immaturity I displayed when I threw my giant temper tantrum in a little secluded section of the forums, I do actually want to offer you guys constructive criticism of the item, the way the Logi event was handled, everything. Obviously, I'm experiencing a little bit of disappointment, but if that's true, it's only because I have been a Dust player for a long time, and I've seen how great some of these events have been handled. First, before I get to that, let me talk a little bit about how I normally run a Logi. When I run a Logi, my choice is never choose not to bring a Proto Rep tool. Even when I'm in a total farm mode, skimp and run blueprint to save, there's one area I never skimp on is my rep tool. And I know there's other logis who feel the same. Some logis, there's probably logis out there who disagree with me. There's probably a few people who skimp on everything, and I mean, realistically, I did run this blueprint suit, a total blueprint suit, and I was able to have games where I made 300k ISK and like 15k SP. But you saw there in that clip that just went by that that would have been a really great time to be running a Proto Rep tool. You want to save somebody from Proto Weapon, you really need to be running a Proto Rep tool, and to have a chance of saving them, they also have to be a somewhat talented heavy or assault or whatever they're running. But yeah, to really have a chance at saving people from taking proto levels of damage, you need proto rep tools. So it makes me sad not to have that. And it always pays for itself, always. But yeah, like I said until I was blue in the face, rep tools are just not an area I ever skimp in. I know my perspective is a little different than the guy who makes spreadsheets. If you've got boots on the ground all the time, you're going to think differently. It was very unlikely that a blueprint offering was going to be able to compete with what I normally run and what I almost always decide is worth running as a rep tool, which is Proto. I knew realistically that that was not going to be what was offered up to me, something that could compare with the Proto Rep tool, which I always run, and I always have decided is worth running. I knew realistically it was, that was not going to be surpassed in a blueprint offering. But so that's not where I set the standards. The place that I set the standard was I wanted the people who designed this item for me to make something good enough where I could appreciate the novelty of it. And the first statistical offering which I saw of it fell short even of what I considered that very meager and reasonable expectation. I mean, we had a 10-meter range, a 45-meter rep strength. That struck me as particularly pathetic, and I was much more angsty about the rep beam, since that I knew that rep beam length, since I knew that was what was going to keep me from being able to appreciate the novelty of the item. But some people are loving this rep tool, and their opinions matter. CCP frame did buff the range from 10 to 12 meters, which puts the item back into my margin of something I can actually appreciate the novelty of. Before it got that buff, I was throwing a giant temper tantrum because I felt like the item was insufficient, even just for the sake of novelty. And I locked horns with none other than Cross Atu, who's a freaking legend in this game. And during my argument with him, I actually told him I thought he should retire. I told Cross freaking Atu I thought he should retire, and I definitely don't mean it now. But for those who don't know who Cross Atu is, he's like the Obama of Dust. So me telling Cross Atu he should retire is like, you know, walking up to the front lawn of the White House and, telling Obama, I think you're doing a lousy job. You should retire. And it being about as useful for garnering respect as the equivalent, whatever. But I am very happy I got that buff. And after I found out that I'd got that buff, during that whole tantrum, I started acting like a smug child in order to piss off those same people who had disappointed me. And I did it. I'm not stupid. I knew that the buff hadn't happened because of my ranting. But I acted like that because I knew the only thing that can piss people off more than a kid throwing a temper tantrum is a kid acting smug after he gets what he wants. But anyway, it's all over now. The event was bugged, which was actually probably the frustration for most of the player base. But yeah, it was our special day to celebrate logis, and I felt like it was handled kind of meagerly. And if I have those high expectations, it's only because I have seen the people who run this game get it right before. When we had the heavy event, if you played your heart out during that event, you walked away with 300 proto heavy weapons. If you played your heart out, and those lasted me a while, and if you played your heart out during the commando event, you walked away with 400 proto commando suits, and those lasted me for like well over a year, or maybe almost a long, long time. So if my expectations were raised high and cut low, it's only because I have so many other great events that came before this event that I have to compare it to, and other BPOs that were better than this one. The one from the 5 million clone challenge, awesome. I love that BPO. So hence why I was let down. But the bug was fixed, the stats were buffed, CCP frame taking care of the initial bad deployment of everything that's happened. But yeah, CCP frame, you saved the Dust cheerleader, you saved the Dust world. And also Aeon Amati came and talked to me like an adult, which also helped calm me down. But yeah, it was a crazy day of opposites. The cheerleader Porsche acting like a salty vet, the reputation for a hothead Aeon Amati being the person who calms me down, people who used to be good at running AFW starting to suck, people who used to be obnoxious drunkards suddenly being civil and pleasant to play with. I don't know. People can surprise you with new capabilities if you let them. Okay, I do need to figure out a way to finish off positively. I just want to say I have enjoyed being the cheerleader for Dust this past year. Now give me a D, give me a U, give me an S, give me a T, give me a 514. That spells Dust 514. Yay! I've enjoyed being that person, but some things are going on. I don't want to share my real life stuff because I try to keep my real life and game life separate. But there's a lot of things going on with me I have to kind of move on, and I'll be tending to new things. And this is not the last Dust video I'll ever make, but my focus has got to come off of Dust now for a bunch of different reasons in and out of game. But yeah, I just wanted to leave you with that. It was one of the excuses I heard was that all the energy that didn't go into this event is going into 1.3, which little bit of a lame excuse, guys. But if it's true, if it's actually true, I hope patch 1.3 really knocks my socks off. But anyway, if you couldn't get it right with this event, I really hope you will go back to giving me content I enjoy with the next patch. So until next time, Dusties, that is everything. See you Starside.